Okay, so here is a rough plan for the battle. I just kind of wanted to draw it out for you guys. So, using the battle editor that they just added. So basically the plan is we're gonna come up through the isthmus and then grab Helsinki, then and Turku and Vasa, and that will end Finland. But for benefit, we're gonna go through Oulu down here too, and we're gonna try and cut the country in half as well. And we're also going to have naval invasions occur in Turku and Vasa to try to get this war over with as quickly as possible. So now all we've got to do is issue our declaration of war. Now we have a goal here. So I'm going to puppet Finland. And so starts the war. Alright, so we've got naval forces to disperse here. And I'm going to set them to passive convoy raiding. That means if any ship actually attempts to interact with us, we will most likely run away. That's the better option overall. Another thing is I'm gonna send troops up here, or submarines, but in real life Stalin questioned Kuznetsov about doing that, and Kuznetsov said that it would not be a good idea, that the submarines would be in pretty bad shape overall. And then because Finland doesn't have much of an air force, I'm just going to have my air units fly air superiority basically over the whole country. And we're going to gauge in ground attacking. On the units that will be in combat. Also, as a benefit of having declared war, we're gonna get a ton of consumer goods, and I'm gonna need also to up the amount. For the first time all game, we're gonna make some supplies, because we're gonna need to do that. I don't get any cool better laws as a result, because Finland is smaller than me, so I'm not gonna get any benefits from that. But here we go. So gotta find our heavy armor here. Alright, there we go. So begins the Soviet march to victory. I'll send one over there. Now, when you attack from multiple provinces, it actually gives you a benefit that's pretty substantial. So I try to do that as much as possible, especially early on in the actual Winter War. So we're not doing it in winter, firstly, which is Shaposhnikov said they needed to do it earlier or later in the next year if they were going to do it at all. And in the Winter War, they had a great deal of trouble actually breaking into Finland, and Finland heroically defended itself against a much larger opponent that basically they had no business defeating, but they did. The Soviets never captured Helsinki. They did get Viipuri, which is a reasonably good-sized city, but that shows you how far they got, really. And it took them several months to achieve a decisive breakthrough. Okay, so we've got our attacks commenced. It looks like we're winning basically everywhere except for here. These guys are struggling. So we'll need the air power to come in and aid them for sure. But the attacks on the Karelian Isthmus are going very well, and we've won in some areas. So because we finished it, I'm just gonna send the troops on their long-range plan, because the Finns don't have a deep army, so their ability to actually continue to fight after achieving a breakthrough is very low. The other big mistake that the Soviets made in this war, just in general, is that they attempted to have tanks come through here, and there aren't any roads. So they were very easily ambushed in the woods, basically, repeatedly over and over again. And it led to massive casualties for the Soviets. So there go our victories. Pretty one-sided battles throughout, it looks like. And now we're gonna ship our... send in our exploitation units, which would be these light tanks. They're very fast moving, so they should be in the territory very shortly. And this is only 3 days into World War II, so... we are sinking transports, large fuel tank advance. The other thing is our military research is going to be sped up pretty significantly by all of this going on, because you get special research benefits for combat. Alright, so there we go. Moving these guys through. Need to move these guys through too. And also assign these guys to move however which way pleases me. So we're going to send those guys there. A couple to this fortress line on the lake, on Lake Ladoga. And they'll just be on their own happy little marches from here on out. Send these guys north. We're just trying to take as much of the country as possible in as short a period of time as possible. There, this fight is actually going well now. Okay, so the war continues, and our naval invasion is going on as well. Did I not send these submarines out? I didn't, I'm an idiot. Oh well, it doesn't matter. They just won't get to do anything this war. So, here we go. Our tanks are now on location. We're still ground attacking. Alright, so the first light tank has arrived on the scene in Valkyarvi. And still going. Japan is mobilized. We're just waiting on our troops to arrive. Okay, so the troops have come. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll start the engagement immediately. I need the Air Force to respond and assist. There we go. And these guys are all ready to go also. So we'll get the Air Force to respond and assist there, because this is the main brunt of our fight. Oh, so we already won that battle quite handily. We have to wait a while for those guys to be ready to move again. Is our naval invasion happening yet? No, it's about to happen. And we got some more convoys, so they're on the wrong side of the river. And we're just gonna have them attack this garrison unit. And it's gonna be an easy win, apparently. So there's that. We've solved that problem. Yeah, this division is almost broken. Wow. So that shows you how effective the bombing campaign has been. And we're sinking pretty large amounts of their transports. Still waiting on these guys to finish up. Alright, so we are in the zone now. And they are going to start to move. The important thing here, and the reason I move my troops in such a way, is that I need to make sure that if there's resistance along this river here, that it's not going to block my approach to Helsinki. Because if it does, I'm going to end up in a big load of trouble. And this attack is going to get way slowed down. Yeah, so these divisions are breaking, and they are being bombed. So there they go, they fled, and oh, our tanks are ready to roll, so they're just gonna go march on Helsinki, and all the various cities between, with the objective of capturing as much of Finland as quickly as possible. These light tanks won't be able to move again for a while, but you see how they bound over each other. So you break it, you break through with the very heavy medium tanks, you send in the light tanks do a little bit of fighting, and the tanks, you know, the tanks are ready to fight yet again. Just switching around my ground target stuff. I don't know why it says we've got more research possible, because I don't. There aren't any more research options. Apparently we're not using our leadership appropriately. Maybe the game is just confused. So we should start moving through here pretty rapidly, according to plan. I'll take the plans away, since it should be pretty obvious. Alright, there we go. And that should pretty much be the end of the war. Just us, you know, running on through. So I'm gonna speed up time. Oh well, descent. It doesn't matter. It bothers me not at all, you could say. So we're winning these battles, still winning them handily, and now you can see the plan coming together, because they don't have many abilities to fight. we're going to try and get these guys involved. The other thing I've noticed is that the AI really wigs out when you do a naval invasion like I did, so you can see a lot of troops are trying to stop me from doing my naval invasion, and that's probably made this a lot easier than it normally should be, so it's a little flaw in the AI. There's also no naval base here, so I can't land directly. I also can't make them communist until October the 2nd, so the war will be over by then, most likely. And we're fighting on the outskirts of Finland. Or Helsinki, rather. Alright. Ah, there we go. So there's the extra. And consumer goods can go back down. We don't really need more reinforcements at the time. And we're plugging through. This should be about the end of it. We've won the Battle of Helsinki. So which Chuikov! Chuikov took Helsinki. Chuikov, most famous for being the general who was heavily involved in the successes at Stalingrad. A particularly cool story about Chuikov is that his command center was in an old train yard in Stalingrad. It turned out the trains had oil in them and they were bombed. Contact was lost and Chuikov was thought to have died in the resulting explosion. But several days later, he got a message out, and it said, "We are still fighting. I am where the fire is thickest." He also ended up being a major part of the capture of Berlin, and that is it. Finland is now a Soviet puppet, although they don't get a communist government. So, sorry Otto Kusanen, you don't get to be in charge. Because of the way the game works, puppets. I could go install communism, but that doesn't make them a puppet, and they don't join an alliance with me because they're upset for some reason. So there's always a chance that they'll declare war on me or Germany will want them for something. Now, having won that, I get the ability to restore the officer corps. And that gives me a ton more research. As you'll see shortly. Yeah, there we go. So that takes away the penalty for the purge. While I was yakking, we got some dissent. Alright, there we go. So we should be all set now. And that is the end of the Winter War. Now, the way I would like to work this is, just in case, I'm going to keep these 2 corps up here in the north. So 10 divisions instead of like 1,000 million. Whilst everybody else is going to reassemble down by Lake Ladoga because their jobs are all done here, except for this garrison division. And we get the naval units to stop doing what they're doing and rebase. Because they're done too. And the Marines will go back to their base in Leningrad, knowing that they did quite a good job. And that should pretty well clear everything out. And then we just tell the Air Force to stop doing its stuff and go home. Because I don't need them burning up a bunch of fuel flying around over our allies anymore. But they'll continue to do it if you don't stop them. So will the Navy. They'll keep looking for convoys. And really no reason to have them keep doing that. Also, you'll note the way I do Finland, it's pretty risky because all my stuff almost ran out of supplies, which is a real life problem that happened. Because it's late in the year, the weather's not very good, and there's also a severe supply bottleneck here on Karelia. So you can see right here is what does it. where all the supplies get lost in this area that's yellow, and you end up getting blocked pretty substantially. Your troops run out of gas. So yeah, like this tank division is out of gas. So it's pretty risky the way I do it, because if you get held up, you're going to end up facing the same problem that the Soviets did in real life, and you're going to lose the Winter War or make it take too long, and then you won't get Finland. So let's do an example. Loktianov, dead. Alkinsness, dead. Reichkov will get executed later. Viktorov, already dead. Replaced by Nikolai Kuznetsov. I guess I could do that now, because historically he was there already. And then everyone else is as they should be, except, well, Armament Minister, but Kaganovich was Minister of Transport. And, well, there you have it. So ends the Winter War. Let's go look at Poland. Poland is about to fall, so that will cause some stuff to happen soon. But I think that'll fit in another video. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.